waterworks and pipelines across the state. On the foreign scene, France clears raising the state pension age from 62 to 64. Good evening, welcome to the Major Report. Babatunde Bolatito is my name. The National Assembly has forwarded the harmonized version of the bill on Nigeria Peace Corps to President Muhammadu Buhari for assent. This is after passage of both the Senate and the House of Representatives. The clerk to the National Assembly's Senate Tambuwal transmitted the bill for presidential assent which was done this week through a letter written to that effect. In line with provision of 1999 Constitution, President Buhari is expected to assent to the bill on or before May 11, when 30 days window given to such important action must have been exploited. The bill, if assented to existing Peace Corps of Nigeria, had been operating on template of volunteerism over the years, will now be federal government owned and funded agency in the name of Nigeria Peace Corps. The Minister of Health, Dr. Osbc says the compulsory 5-year service for graduates in medical and dental fields before being granted full license proposed in a bill by the House of Representatives is with good intention. He made a position known today in Abuja, saying the bill is to make quality health services available to Nigerians. According to Dr. Hanere, the intention is good because it is tackling and talking about curbing brain drain of doctors, explaining that the bill is to make those in the category to give back to the country. Having received classy education that is respected outside and to appreciate the low cost of training doctors in Nigeria compared to school fees paid in foreign countries to become a doctor, Dr. Ehanire added that it may not necessarily have to be by law because the moral understanding is also clear if one has received quality education and then gives back to the sponsor. Meanwhile, the federal government has reiterated its commitment to providing quality, affordable, and accessible health care to Nigerians. The Minister of State for Health, Mr. Joseph Ekumakama, made this known at the presentation of certificates to National Laboratory Equipment Calibration Center. Ekumakana, who commended the Center for receiving an accreditation by the Kenyan Accreditation Services, said Nigeria is a signatory to several global initiatives and committed to the health and development of our citizens. He said the reform complemented by the Medical Laboratory Science Council of Nigeria on the health sector is in line with the efforts of federal government of Nigeria to reposition the health center. In the meantime, Governor of Osun State, Senator Ademola Adeleke, has described the recent appointment of principal officers for the University of Ilesha as part of fulfillment of his promise to nurture a sustainable tertiary institutions for Ijesha land. In a statement signed by the spokesperson to the governor, Madam Olawale Rashid, Governor Adeleke reaffirmed his commitment to building a sound-footed university, which he said informed his approval of a leading academy of international repute, Professor Taiwo Akshaulu, as the Vice Chancellor of the university. Commending the applause, the new appointment elicited from Ijesha society, the state governor assured that the many laudable ideas recommended by the erstwhile Akshaulu committee are now billed for implementation under the same man who chaired the review panel. Keeping faith with the Ijesha people, the governor said his administration is upholding due process, avoiding politicization of the academic environment, correcting errors of the past, and fulfilling the decades of old dreams of Ijesha people. He commended the leaders, sons and daughters of Ijesha land for their patience and acceptance of ongoing decisions of the state cabinet, urging all stakeholders to cooperate with the new Vice Chancellor as he settles down to the urgent task of sustainable takeoff of the university. Osho State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke has expressed the commitment of his administration to ensuring that every community in the state benefits from democratic dividends. Senator Adeleke stated this while commissioning a water project at Isaleshu community in Oshobo. Sahid Adeboje has details.
Addressing the gathering, Governor Ademola Adeleke appreciated the support of residents of Osun State for his administration. The governor was represented by his deputy, Prince Kola Adewusi, explained that the present administration is people-oriented and is always ready to put smiles on the faces of the people. Governor Adeleke noted that the water project is aimed at waging war against waterborne diseases which may result to death, noting that poverty and non-access to potable water supply go hand in hand. Maintained that God brought the present administration to Osun State to solve the various challenges being faced by the teeming populace.
Another important factor to note is that poverty and lack of clean water go hand in hand, and a key component to eliminating poverty is having access to safe water. When water supplies are improved and sustainable, it significantly enhances community economic growth and reduces poverty.
In her address, the General Manager of Osun Community and Social Development Agency, Mrs. Fumi Abokede, thanked and appreciated Governor Ademola Adeleke for funding the water project, maintaining that the project will go a long way in improving socio-economic development of the beneficiaries, stating that clean water is crucial to the healthy living of the people. Mrs. Abokede implored the beneficiaries to maintain the water project.
The administration of His Excellency, Executive Governor of Osun State, Senator Ademola Adeleke, is very keen in improving the quality of life of Osun citizens. And in fact, one of the development agenda of Mr. Governor is infrastructure development. Hence, the provision of boreholes as an intervention to accelerate access to potable water.
The HLA Oshobo South LCDA, Mrs. Omowumi Olagunju, appreciated Governor Ademola Adeleke for considering the Osun community worthy of benefiting from potable water supply. She pledged on behalf of residents of Osun community to continue their support for the present administration. In his words of appreciation, the leader of Osun community, Alhaji Suleiman Alao Eniafelamo, described the borehole provided for the community as one of the projects showcasing Governor Ademola Adeleke as caring and loving, whose vision is to bring comfort to the doorsteps of the people. The program climaxed with the commissioning of the borehole. From the office of the Deputy Governor, this is Said Adeboje reporting.
In a bid for sustainable water supply to the people of Osun State, Governor Ademola Adeleke has directed a phased rehabilitation of selected waterworks and water pipeline networks across the state. In a statement signed by the spokesperson to the governor, Malam Olawale Rashid, the new directive is coming as the sinking of 332 boreholes under direct labor are rounding up with their implementation. We debunked reports from some quarters that 14 million naira was the cost of each of the 332 boreholes described in the report as false. Governor Adeleke, acting on a community report relating to the worsening state of infrastructure within the state water sector, approved the immediate upgrade of pipeline networks of both Ede and Oshobo waterworks, alongside the repairs and recharging of water filter media at Iwo and Ekwindi waterworks. The water scheme at Esauke is also under rehabilitation for supply of potable water, while the governor is following up with the Federal Ministry of Water Resources for the completion of Ileshe water project. The state government is also interfacing with the Federal Ministry to resolve the delay created by the mismanagement of water project in Ilesha, with particular reference to the contractor and the project managers. Osun State Governor Senator Ademola Adeleke has urged Muslims to project lot of lessons learned during the ongoing Ramadan period, as shown through the traditions of Holy Prophet Muhammad, especially the act of love and generosity. The governor was represented by Honorable Akimi Odejobi, gave the advice at the distribution of valuable goods to the people who participated on an Osbc TV Ramadan special program, Al Burhan. Aisha Mustafa covered the occasion for Osbc News. Her report.
The governor explained that religion preaches love and peace, urging Muslims to embrace the two. He also charged people, Muslim and non-Muslim, to steer clear of all vicious acts they have jettisoned when Ramadan ends. Governor Ademola Adeleke encouraged the people of Osun to pray for his administration to succeed.
So which means you are living a double standard life. So
earlier in his address of welcome, the Director General of Osbc, Mr. Rashid Folaranmi, represented by the Director of Corporate Affairs, Mr. Shola Bolaji, appreciated Governor Adeleke for putting in place such a program that puts a smile on people's face. He also urged people across faiths to not only preach love but demonstrate it.
You can show love to your fellow men. You can show love to our brothers and love to our sisters by sharing, just like some of these items will go away with some people today. So I want to plead with us that as we are journeying in our pilgrimage to meet our God, one day, one time, let us remember love at all times.
Highlights of the program were recitation from the Quran and presentation of gifts to those who emerged triumphant in the program. Some of the beneficiaries expressed appreciation to the governor.
Governor,
Senator Ademola Jackson,
Aisha Mustafa, Osbc News.
The Nigeria Union of Journalists, Osun Council, has been charged to start developing its proposed journalist village located at Egbedi in Egbedore local government area of Osun State. The Elegbedi of Egbedi Oba Abdulaziz Olani Yajagunmade gave the charge during a visit of Osun NUJ executive to the Oba on the level of the state NUJ preparations towards the development of the Osun journalist village. Our reporter Oluwatobi Loba Odunuga now reports.
Welcoming the Osun State Council of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, the Elegbedi of Egbedi Oba Abdulaziz Olaniyi Ajagungbade Oodua appreciated the efforts of the State NUJ Council for bringing such a developmental project to Egbedi after so much effort made by the past NUJ executives. The monarch, who was flanked by the Babakekere of Egbedi, Chief Abioye Akinkunmi, and other chiefs admonished the Osun NUJ Council executives to fast-track the development of the journalist village, noting that the development of the town is greatly attached to the development of the journalist village. In his response, the state chairman of Osun State Council of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Comrade Wasiu Ajadoshu, appreciated the concerted efforts of the Oba and the chiefs for the progress of the ancient town. Comrade Ajadoshu assured the Elegbedi of Egbedi Oba Abdulaziz Olaniyi Ajagungbade Oodua that the State Council of NUJ will do everything in its capacity to start developing the journalist village, which would serve as an abode for all journalists in the state. In their separate remarks, veteran journalists including Mr. Kayode Adediwe, Mr. Shola Ajiboye, among others, appreciated the monarch and the entire Council of Elegbedi in Council for their support and assistance in making the dreams of the Osun NUJ Council realizable. Oluwa Tobiloba, Odunuga, OSBC News.
Now welcome to our sports segment. The Nigerian-born Napoli striker Victor Osimhen will be in action for Napoli's crucial Champions League clash with AC Milan next week after returning to full training. Omotayo Adebono of our sports desk has the details of this and more from the world of sports.
Trained with his Napoli teammate today ahead of tomorrow's clash against Hellas Verona built for the Diego Armando Maradona Stadium. Osimhen has been sidelined since sustaining muscle injury while on international duty with Nigeria at the end of last month. The 24-year-old has missed Napoli's last 3 games across all competitions. The Serie A leaders provided an update on his fitness on their official website today, and the Nigeria international is expected to feature against Hellas Verona. His return to action will be a perfect boost for Napoli ahead of next week's Tuesday's UEFA Champions League quarter-final second-leg clash against AC Milan. In the meantime, Rafael Nadal has withdrawn from the Barcelona Open, saying he is still not ready to return to the men's ATP Tour. Nadal, who is 36 years, has been struggling with an ongoing hip injury that has kept him out of this week's Monte Carlo Masters. The 22 Grand Slam winner remains a doubt for the French Open in May, where he is defending champion. Nadal has not played since he was defeated by American Mackenzie McDonald at the Australian Open in January. The Barcelona Open, which Nadal has won 12 times, starts on Monday and is one of the last big clay court events before the French Open begins in Paris on the 28th of May. Meanwhile, world number 1 Novak Djokovic suffered a shock loss in 3 sets to Italian Lorenzo Musetti in the 3rd round at the Monte Carlo Masters. Djokovic, who is 35 years, won the opening set but eventually lost 4-6, 7-5, 6-4 in a match interrupted by an hour rain delay. It marked the biggest win of Musetti's career and will play compatriot Yannick Sinner in the quarterfinals. Serbia's 22-time Grand Slam champion Djokovic said he did not feel the defeat was a catastrophe, but added he felt terrible after exiting the tournament. Omotayo Adebono for Osbc News.
And now to our foreign stories. France's top constitutional body has cleared the raising of the state pension age from 62 to 64 and rejected call for a referendum by a political opponent. The Constitution Council struck out some of the reforms, citing legal flaws. Reports say 12 days of protests have been held against President Emmanuel Macron's controversial reforms since January. It also stated that the government recently used a special constitutional power to force through the reforms without a vote. Mr. Macron's government argues the changes are essential to prevent the system from lapsing. The ruling is met with jeers close to Constitutional Council building in central Paris, where a crowd of protesters are gathered. The authorities had banned demonstrations in front of the building, but some demonstrators had changed and chanted they would continue protesting until the changes were withdrawn. To end the major report on OSBC TV, here again are the main points. The federal government has reiterated its commitment to providing affordable and quality health service to Nigerians. Minister of State for Health stated this at a public forum. Governor Ademola Adeleke has directed the rehabilitation of selected waterworks across the state and water pipelines network, saying rumors about 14 million naira spent on each of the waterworks is fake. On the foreign scene, we brought you a report that France's top constitutional body has cleared the raising of the state pension from age of 62 to 64 and rejected calls for a referendum by political opponents. That ends the major report on Osbc TV. It was edited by Michael Adeniyi. Babatunde Bolatito is my name. Thank you for being there. Good night.